Easy peasy. Bruh. So we're on with Gutbuster, which apparently just got the work in and then ended up in the gulag. So let's go ahead and see if they go ahead and pull this off. We are spectating random solos today. Now that they are back, the playlist has been updated. It is no longer just casual BR solos. We have casual and standard, which is the way I think it always should be for pretty much all of the modes. Bring back trios, please. Add casual duos, add casual trios. Basically, let people play what they want. So we'll see what this guy is able to pull off. He ended up getting a clutch win in the gulag. That was the first kill of the match. They are landing a little bit on the outskirts. Not much loot here. I wouldn't say this is a heavily desirable spot. Probably a chest like here normally. Dang, he actually came up with some decent loot. Rotate over the house, see what's over there, and then kind of move through either quarry, since that's the high loot zone, or kind of move through military, since both of those will be in the zone for quite a bit. Okay, no tack sprinting, and this doesn't really lead to any loot. Unless there's a side Easter egg that I missed out of the 30 that I did. It's just kind of one of those things. Hopefully, you know, they add rewards to that later. It's kind of one of the things I was talking about before, is that like a lot of times they'll add content, but it's like one of those sayings like the juice isn't worth the squeeze, or whatever you want to call it. Essentially, the reward isn't worth the time invested. And we see the same thing with a lot of these events in game. All right, he's made it to this first little POI here, a little mini POI with the buy station. Crouch walking. Likely no one's in this area because the chest was unlooted, and it was a standard chest, not the blue chest that restocks every 90 seconds, I believe. He's done the quick pulse. Doesn't really have cash to do anything, literally $0. One of the things I will mention though is that speaking of the casual community, I think the casual playlist is awesome. I think it's one of the best things they've ever added to Call of Duty. I know there's some people that get really defensive about the casual playlist on both sides. Some that agree with me that it is a pretty good mode, and then others that disagree and think, you know what, it's trash, they shouldn't have it, blah blah blah. I want casual players in my lobby. I think there's a very vocal minority of people that are like that, but I think generally the people who love casual BR are like a really vocal and very defensive community at the moment. It's like right now I could say that, oh, casual BR is awesome, adds tons of value. It should like exist alongside regular battle royale standard for all modes. Allow everyone to play the way they want, where they want, how they want, regardless if they're going AFK, learning the game, going for kills, getting camos, doing challenges, or slowly crouch walking around the map like Gutbuster, who got slammed at the beginning of this video. Open it up to anyone. You could play kind of wherever you want. And there's probably some people that would argue that this guy should probably spend a little bit more time in casual, hone in his skills, but maybe super anti-AI bots in the lobby, since that makes up about 120 players out of the 150. But realistically, there's people that will go into the comments right now. I'm going to go ahead and ensure I'm going to read them, because they heard me mention casual, and as that C came out of the mouth and the A, the S, you know, the rest of the word, they already went to the comments. Leave casual alone. Leave casual alone. It's like they're fighting with their shadow. So it is what it is. I think everyone should enjoy whatever mode they want to play, even if it's plunder. All right. I don't know if the frost line's going to get it done. I do see the guy. He's looking at you. I feel like you're going to die here. You don't have a self. You haven't done a good job of looting. This gun at that range, I don't believe it's going to be a one shot. Free loadout is inbound. I feel like that other guy's going to rush to go get that loadout. He is hard scoping. I don't think anyone's going to be on this side of the map. Maybe people rotating in from quarry, but I don't think they'd come from the top side. I think they would come through this middle section where they're looking. But you don't really see anyone on that side. So they haven't really made a huge effort to get money, and they haven't acknowledged that they can get their loadout. They'll probably creep with the edge of the gas. There's the guy, a different guy. The other guy was in the, like the purple skin. He just waste a cluster? Why would you just... There's no way he's going to kill off of that, right? Okay, it doesn't even look like a hit marker. Cool animations. And I think some of the benefits of casual are like at the top right now. You can see the latency is 70. I live near LA when I had my gulag win, and before I splatted, the latency was right around 70. And generally the highest latency I should have, since I am close to the LA area, is around 25 to 27. That's probably the absolute highest that I should ever have because of the population density of the LA area. In some instances, I can get down to around 12 or even 7 with the absolute best ping or whatever you want to call it. But there's zero world where I should have 70 ping. If ping is truly king, right? It's just one of those things that it threw me in this lobby for whatever reason. And like one of the things they did mention is that there was a uptick in casual players playing solo 3-to-1 versus the standard solos playlist. And that's why they brought it back. They kind of want to do head-to-head testing. And hopefully the results are just keep all the modes in play, because it'd be really unfortunate for them to start removing modes. Even if I'm going to get higher ping, whatever, ideally you'd like to be able to play whatever mode that like floats your boat, right? Whatever you feel most comfortable with. And I think sometimes what happens is when you do have a commentary around different things, people don't, like, I don't know if it's intentional or people are just online too much, that they don't realize that there is a little bit of nuance in conversation, and people can talk about things that they like about something. It doesn't mean that they like literally everything about it, and they could say they dislike things about certain things, and that doesn't necessarily mean they hate everything about it. And sometimes there's things that I can like about Call of Duty, and there's things I can really dislike. And sometimes I'll get comments, it'll be like, well, why do you cover it if you hate the game? It's like, bro, how do you like not understand that I do not hate the game? I actually quite like Call of Duty. I've been playing for 15 years. Every new game comes out, I'm going to play it for 100 plus hours. I get my money's worth every single year. Even prior to being a content creator, I played over 100 plus hours in Call of Duty, whether it was a combination of multiplayer and zombies, or just multiplayer, or mainly zombies and a little bit of multiplayer. Then now we factored in Warzone to the equation. I get my money's worth. And when COD releases, those first initial 3 months are the absolute best content for Call of Duty, because everything is pretty much brand new. It's the other 9 months of the year that COD tends to struggle, because they're not built to be a year-round cycle. They kind of never have. Even when DLC will drop back in the day, you get a little bit of up spike, but most people would uninstall the DLC just because a lot of times the maps weren't always good or whatever. With the exception of zombies, you would obviously want to play that stuff. If I wasn't passionate about Call of Duty, if I didn't care about Call of Duty, I wouldn't cover Call of Duty. It's just more often than not, it's easier to highlight the issues than give them the kudos, especially at this point in the year when they kind of don't need to do a ton to do a layup and put out good content. But they're over here micromanaging playlists and removing playlists and worrying about things that really sound like they're looking at a spreadsheet instead of just using common sense. If you build good content, you put out good content, the players will come, the players will play the game, and the players will tell their friends to play the game. But the content has to be there, and that's where COD is severely lacking. And I think that's what's hurt BO6, is a lot of the maps they put out are either rehashed or not particularly good and not enough to drive people to the game. Many of the weapons have sucked, and that's an issue. Is he's going to get destroyed here? You know the guys on your left now? Okay, he threw a smoke, threw you off. Probably switch to your sniper. That's going to be a little bit of a challenge. There it is. He swapped. Damn, this dude is elusive. Holy, broke your plates. You scared you. Doesn't have tac sprint on or something. He doesn't know how to spam it. Definitely a case where you could rebind some of your settings and you'd be auto tac sprinting and you'd be fine. Based off watching their gameplay though, it was pretty clear how they ended up in the situation they ended up in at the start of the match. Oh, now we got that guy, level 300 almost. So I think it's kind of a weird spot. It's just like part of the cycle of doing content creation and those types of things. So many people are lacking that nuance or ability to discuss stuff. If I say anything remotely positive about the game, I'm considered a shill. And then the next day I say anything negative, even though that's clear, nuance, different topics, then I'm a crybaby and I'm bitching about the game and la 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 la, whatever people want to say. But they still show up in the comments every day. And I appreciate everyone that shows up. There's a lot of you hitting that like button. Continue to subscribe, following on the other platforms as we have streamed quite a bit. And, you know, doing the positive comments on top of the ones that are there daily saying, people still play this game? Yes, bro, you're here every single video. Knock it off. It's just one of those things, you know, part of content creation. I'm used to it by now, but it is funny when it happens still, even to this day. You don't get numb to the fact that how silly it is. All right, so this guy's got to figure out what he wants to do. It doesn't look like he has his desired loadout. I don't imagine people are pulling the PP919. He got a loadout marker there. Popped up on the screen. W, don't get smashed by that. You should buy a plate. All right, how are you going to play this? They know where you're at. I didn't really see where they're at. You end up pulling out the LC-10 and the... So, Craig C is beaming. Doesn't look like they have a barrel on there. So I wonder if they're using recoil springs, potentially? Oh, there it is. There's the plates he could have bought a little while ago. He didn't have as much cash, but... Gonna actually pull for the vehicle. Really risky play. You do got to cover quite a distance. There's 2 people in that area. Somehow in solos, that seems a little bit odd. But that content thing that applies to COD, and like I said, a lot of people are just online probably too much. That happens in basically everywhere. I've seen it, especially since COVID. It's been significantly worse. Before, it was bad. It's always been bad. Online's been that way. But I think since COVID, it kind of unlocked a different network of people. I don't know. But it seems like you either have to go all in on positive or all in on negative, and nuance is unacceptable for movies, television, video games of any kind, politics, basically anything. You're all one way or that's it. So this guy you're going to destroy. Nice, readjusted. The aim did look a little bit weird. I don't know if that's just because we're in the spectator cam. Top 14, 5 kills, accidentally threw a nade. Or does he think somebody's there? Okay, somebody just got out of the vehicle to the right. They got back in the vehicle. They may be heading your way. Oh. So I wonder if he's dead. I wonder if he must have heard something while I was yamping. I didn't actually hear that guy. Because he threw the double nade and then went back in. Maybe he saw something there beforehand. I didn't notice. Either way, he got absolutely obliterated. Master Wi-Fi. 9 kills. Cruising the map with the broken Terminator skin, which in all their attempts, I think still has a little bit of brokenness. This guy is in a terrible spot. 2 people up here together. And then there's 2 people on the other side. Why does it feel like it's a duos match? Everyone's in pairs, even though it's solos. Okay, there's a buy station. You do have oh, there's somebody on the car. Come on, hit your shots, bro. Come on, man. You look like you had some kind of gunny because of the movement, but you can't shoot straight. Holy, bro. Dude practices his movement 10 hours a day. Gunny 0. Straight ahead of you on that rock. You can see him creeping from left to right. He's kind of wiggling there. Hard shot. You're out of plates now. Might be a little bit of a bad fight to take. Looks like he has the Ranger grip for range. Which generally the vertical grip is generally going to be the go-to. Has 15 kills, so probably a little bit better gunny than we saw in the last one. I don't know how that guy got that many kills. But his aim looks so crazy. Got a little slide cancel, shimmy into a drop shot, pop up. Dude, mastered. Why? But like, just couldn't aim. So are these helicopters going to be bait or like what the heck's going on here? Like who the heck's posting up over here? The heck is that? Our spectator camera is ugly. It should allow us to turn the camera in this position. So his vehicle's getting blasted. Rotation is probably over here. That's where most of the players are going to be. I think they're going to be up and to the right over here. I feel like this guy's on keyboard and mouse. The way he's whipping his aim, it doesn't look like a traditional controller player. This guy does got to come out of the gas. They're destroying his vehicle from down low, so he's getting third-partied here. And, ooh, this could be really dangerous. All right, got 16th kill. Nice. The nice part of, like, I know that they mentioned, like, there's 3-to-1 in solos, casual versus standard. And solos have always felt like they have like really weak he got destroyed. Always like significantly weaker SBMM, even though that is like a concern in some ways that impacts latency. Solos just as a whole doesn't have enough players to have super strict SBMM. Dang, that dude was on a burner, 16 kills or whatever, and this guy only has 5. Family no mas. All right, you got a bounty to the right. Rocking the RPG, kind of creepy there. This is the area where I kind of thought he would have gone, the other one. It's just he didn't clear the area. He just full sent it, was half plated because he'd been shot, and it wasn't looking too good. So, TAC 56. All right. This is, he's enjoying the game with different loadouts. Nice. Now I want this guy to win. Use a little bit of off meta, something still good. That is kind of the sweet spot where we've been, where there are other options you can use. I just wish they would continue to buff some of the other options to diversify what loadouts people are using, because the Krig is going to be the most common, along with the LC-10. This guy got an RPG and TAC, so he deserves to win now. Kind of a bad rotation. I thought I heard a sniper. Is that what I heard on the right? Hopefully they don't know where you're at. Okay, there they go, straight in front of you. You can hear him. He's going to be on the loadout. The aim is a little bit off, but I mean, that's just kind of how it goes. Got a little eager there. So if somebody is on the left, which is likely, we won't see it on the heartbeat, but they're likely on this left side, because usually the way the zone collapses, you usually end up with like a semi-triangle formation of where the last 3 players are. So a lot of times if the person's on your, not every time, but most of the time if the person is to your right, both of the last players aren't going to necessarily be together because of the way the zone collapses. There's going to be one directionally to the left. So he's done that heartbeat sensor. He's checking that ridge. He definitely knows somebody's over there. And now he can kind of be silent. He got away with it. Here for gunfire, pay attention, don't get snuck up on. Third party could be like the absolute best thing that happens to you. Wait until these two are going to fight, and then you can go ahead and close that distance and ideally catch one of them off guard and get that final kill, because they won't have a chance to plate and or reload. Okay, where's zone pull? Back left or forward right? Boom, forward. And a little bit of the right. Maybe mostly straightforward. Does have to move here. Other people might have some hard cover. Okay, if it's on the heartbeat, we can't see it. Slowly creeping up. He's still looking at that loadout, which is good. He kind of pinged it because then he has kind of like a directional where the person should be going. These people should be meeting at any second now. There it goes. Third party. Third party. He's right in front of you. Third party, bro. Nice. No, you got obliterated. Rip, bro. You took too long and you missed too many shots. GG's. Hopefully, guys enjoyed the video. See you on the next one. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.